everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are looking at an ecosystem that has just seen an incredible surge of activity right now. We're charting the massive recent momentum happening over at Surf Cardano. Now, if you've been paying any attention to decentralized finance lately, you know that things move at literal lightning speed. But what the Surf community is pulling off right now is truly something special. We are talking about major financial milestones, rapid-fire governance, and a massive platform upgrade right on the horizon, all converging to create what we're calling the momentum arc.
All right, let's just dive right into this. The Surf brand isn't just a catchy name. It really represents this building wave of DeFi innovation on the Cardano blockchain. Surf is rapidly positioning itself as a premier lending and borrowing protocol. And what we're seeing in the data is that this wave is gaining some serious size and speed. So how do we actually measure the power behind a wave like this? Well, we look at the actual, tangible value being generated for its users. Section 1. Catching the Surf Wave. We're talking unprecedented financial milestones here. Because look, at the end of the day, a DeFi protocol really proves its worth through the immediate value it generates for the people actually using it. And just look at this number, 19,000 ADA. Now, this isn't some projection or a theoretical annual yield. This is the exact amount of ADA generated for Surf stakers in just the last 15 days. I mean, think about that time frame for a second. In barely over 2 weeks, the protocol has organically produced an impressive 19,000 ADA for its staking community. That is real, active yield generation happening right before our eyes, and it shows exactly how robust the underlying mechanics of this platform are today. Now, what's really wild here is the overall scale. We just looked at a 15-day snapshot, right? But if you zoom out, you see that Surf Cardano is rapidly approaching a massive total of 300,000 ADA generated for stakers. And here's the real kicker. This has all happened after just 9 months on mainnet. Less than a year in, and they are closing in on nearly 1/3 ADA in real value delivered straight to the community. It brilliantly illustrates that the platform isn't just some proof of concept anymore. It's a functioning, highly active economic engine. Moving into Section 2, Governance in Action. This is all about community power steering the ship. So the financial numbers are fantastic, obviously. But what truly makes a decentralized protocol resilient is how it makes decisions. Surf Cardano isn't just sitting back on its current success. The community is actively directing the platform's future. Case in point, this remarkably fast-paced 24-hour governance window. The protocol recently initiated a high-speed voting period specifically designed to expand the ecosystem without getting bogged down in weeks of red tape. It shows a community that's awake, engaged, and ready to mobilize instantly the second an opportunity arises to add value. And what exactly were they voting on in that tight 24-hour window? 2 of the top projects currently building on Midnight, Ascend and Pulse. The community was given the choice to vote on listing these tokens and, well, the vote successfully passed to list both of them. Thanks to that rapid turnaround, both the Ascend and Pulse tokens are slated to be listed this very weekend. Honestly, that is a textbook example of decentralized governance moving at the actual speed of the modern market. Which brings us to Section 3. Upgrading the experience. We're looking at some rapid-fire platform enhancements. Of course, listing new tokens requires a rock-solid foundation. So while the community votes on the front end, the developers have been executing a series of back-end changes to really smooth out the user experience. Let's walk through these technical upgrades because they're an absolute game-changer for daily users. First, they squashed an annoying bug affecting the activity history and liquidation records, which keeps the interface clean and transparent. Second, and this is a massive quality of life upgrade, they integrated a new swap widget powered by Dex Hunter. This means you can swap ADA for Surf or any other supported token directly within the app. It totally removes the friction from the user journey. And finally, V2 testing is officially live, featuring multi-collateral borrowing. In fact, if you want to get your hands dirty, you can reach out directly to Dom and ask for test Surf and Strike tokens to experiment with yourself. Let's move on to Section 4, the V2 evolution. This is the massive catalyst on the horizon. Because, all those bug fixes, the Dex Hunter integration, the active testnet, they're really just laying the groundwork for something much, much bigger. Here's the chronological path we are looking at for V2. Currently, the V2 security audit is in full swing. Security is absolutely paramount in DeFi, so this step is non-negotiable. Over the next few weeks, the official audit report is expected to be finalized and delivered, and that sets the stage perfectly for their target, a May mainnet launch. It's a tight, aggressive timeline for sure, but it's totally methodical, ensuring the code is completely battle-tested before they open the floodgates. To really understand the scope of this, listen to this quote directly from the source.
V2 brings one of the most feature-rich lending experiences on Cardano, with strong incentives to kickstart liquidity. Guys, this is not just a minor visual update. This is a comprehensive overhaul designed to take the platform to the absolute next level. By heavily incentivizing liquidity right out of the gate, V2 is engineered to draw in capital and radically expand the borrowing and lending capabilities for every single user on Cardano. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We've seen a protocol that has already organically generated roughly 300,000 ADA for its stakers in just 9 months on its first iteration. We've seen an agile community that can pass strategic token listings in a 24-hour window. And now, we're staring down a vastly superior, highly incentivized V2 mainnet launch targeted for May. With all of this momentum stacking up, just how high will the next surf wave actually reach? That is the exact question the entire Cardano DeFi space will be watching closely in the coming weeks. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today. Stay curious out there, and I'll see you next time.